It's George again. I just got back from Antarctica hunting meteorites, and yeah, my daughter is just so proud of me. She's so proud of me what I found. I spent thousands of dollars, and I was there a couple months, and wow, look at this! Look what I found. That is just so awesome. I've never seen anything so huge in my life. I could probably retire with the amount of money that I can make from this. This is the real George, and I'm here now. I had to throw my little comedy clip in there because a little thing like this, it just doesn't seem very impressive to me, you know. So I got a really big show here for you. I'm talking about big show. I'm going to just dive right into it. But before I show you this spectacular stuff that I found, that people keep on insisting that I'm wrong and I'm not right, I'm going to explain something. Okay, we're going to go down here to the paper. Okay, people learn this way right now about meteorites. This is how they learn. Asteroids, meteoroids, meteors, and then they skip over two very important things and just go to meteorites. And there are no videos. There's nobody else talking about it other than me. I'm the only one that's brought this up. Now, and this just goes to show you how weird things are and how odd and bizarre it is. When an asteroid hits the planet, it's referred to an asteroid still. But the way everybody's taught is when a meteorite or when a meteor hits the planet, it's referred to as a meteorite. And they say that anything hits the planet as a meteorite. Okay, so why don't people refer to the dinosaurs getting killed by a meteorite? Because the asteroid hit the Earth. And this is one of the problems that I have with this. I think the teaching is completely wrong. I think they're leaving it out. This is the way that I think people should learn. And you're going to understand by some of the stuff that I'm going to show you. It should be asteroids, meteoroids, meteors, meteor space rocks, meteorite debris fields, and then meteorites. You're living out these two specific things because everybody says, no, they don't exist. Well, I'm here to prove that they do exist. Now, we're going to go to the pictures first. This is a picture of the inside of one of the rocks, okay? And this isn't rust. I'm going to show you what this is. This right here is green olivine. This up here in the top picture, that's brown olivine. There's another picture that's green olivine in there. It came out green when I took the photo. Okay? Everybody's following me so far. This is what rust looks like. Okay? This is rust. And you can compare the difference right here. You can look at the top photo. This is brown. This is tan. Rust is tan. Okay? I figured this out from looking this stuff up. And yes, there is brown olivine. You can look it up. This is a photo of that same rock. Okay? You see this hole right here in the middle of the rock? The rock's solid, except this hole. Now, this hole either contained water or something else. I don't think it contained a life form. I don't know how a life form would live in there unless it was bacteria or something. But I believe this to be a water pocket inside this rock. And it doesn't, the pictures don't really do great justice because you can't get a real close up and see what I'm seeing. It's not black inside like the picture's taking. It's a little off colored on the inside. Personally, I think it's water was in there. But like I said, nobody wants to listen to what I have to say. They all think I'm crazy. All right, now I found another one of those rocks with the lines in it. Okay? And I'm going to show you the pictures of the rocks, okay? There's that one. And I found another picture of one. Okay? The top picture burned more. This one didn't even hardly burn at all. But these are lines. And the outer coating of the rock is like a blue, and the blue had melted off a little bit, and then it came down to the gray. And now I'm going to show you the rocks. And this is another one of those rocks that I'm telling you, okay? These lines go all the way around the rock. You follow the rock around, okay? These lines go all the way around. Now, all this stuff right here is the crowbar I used to pry it up out of the ground. It kept banging against the rock. But you'll see these lines go all the way around. And as before, I told you, there's no lines whatsoever on this side. And when you spin it around, there's no lines whatsoever on this side, like the lines you see here. Okay, this black part and the little bit of brown part showing, that's real old fusion crust. Like I said, if I'm correct in my findings, these have been on the ground almost a couple hundred years. But some of them were preserved in somewhat decent ways because of where they were hidden. You look at this one real close, okay? These are lines, these are ridges, and they would have turned into this. But this one didn't burn like it was supposed to. And I'm trying to explain to people that these rocks are getting through and they're not burning up. And it has to do with the mesosphere being polluted. Now, you can believe me whether you want to or not. I'm coming across all this bizarre stuff. Then you follow this around. And those weird lines, they go, but there's no weird lines here. Okay? And there's no weird lines here. But this is old fusion crust, and you can look at this. You can look at this bluish color. This bluish color here. It's like a bluish color, and it's like there's either a gray or white underneath it. Personally, I think these rocks contain a lot of information, but like I said, you know, people are going to do what they want to do, and they're going to say what they want to say. Refuse to believe that whole meteors can't make it to Earth because they say everything burns up. Well, that isn't true. And I'm going to show you one of my smoking guns. We're going to go to this one. I call this one the torpedo. And there's three different pictures. Okay? I dug this one up. It's got the black fusion crust on it. And some of it's wore off. It's brown. This thing is extremely heavy. I had to have another person help me load it into the back of the truck, and then I set it on a table. Those are the three small pictures, okay? Now I'm going to give you the big one. This is what it looks like. A real good close-up of it. If you look at this, that is fusion crust. I don't care what the experts say. It can't be round. It is fusion crust. That is what it looks like, and it turns brown when it gets weathered. And this piece is pretty heavy. I don't have a scale to weigh these things, But this is the second biggest one that I found. Now, with that being said, we're going to go to the final rock. And here comes the final rock. You can look at this thing. Okay, we're going to spin it. I'll spin it real slow. Okay? This is all old fusion crust. But this thing was preserved pretty well. Because a lot of it's black. A lot of it's still black and dark. So the fusion crust on it was preserved pretty well. Now the green was from it being down into the creek. This I pulled out of the creek. But what really gets me is, I think this one is actually from Mars. And I'm not going to have to wait for a Curiosity rover to fly me back a sample. I've got whole rocks from Mars, and I'll show you why. When you look at this side, this is a tannish brown, this is a red. Those are the colors on Mars. Now, whether people want to believe this or not, I'm telling you, this rock is not from Earth. I've looked this up. I've tried to find something like this. I can't find it. But when I look at NASA's pictures, Curiosity rover pictures, pictures of Mars, come up with these colors. This rock is from Mars, and it is a meteor. It's not a meteorite. Because the whole rock hit the ground. It's not a bit and piece of fragment or whatever. Now, this is all smooth. The whole rock is smooth. If this was just on Earth, there should be jagged edges all over this thing. But there aren't any jagged edges because this got hot. It got hot, it burned. This side probably broke off. Is my best bet. It broke off and this cooked a little bit. But this thing should have burned up, just like a lot of the other rocks. I'm going to keep finding more and more and more bizarre stuff because I know I'm on the right track. And I know why nobody wants to challenge me and come out here and test these. The reason why is because everybody wants you to keep buying in to these little pieces. Granted, this isn't pretty. This rock isn't pretty and beautiful. But if it is what I think it is, it contains a hell of a lot more information than a little teeny piece of fragment like that. And it's the truth, because a lot of the stuff on the rock didn't burn away like it was supposed to. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I had to throw in a little bit of humor at the beginning because that's where everybody's going. Everybody gets these little bits and pieces and fragments, and everybody's dancing and celebrating, and we're walking past all these large meteors that are sitting on the ground. But it's because people don't know what to look for because they've never been trained what to look for. Everybody's trained to look for meteorites. So everybody looks for little bits and pieces. Nobody's been trained to look for whole rocks. And I'm telling you, they are out there. I wouldn't spread a bunch of misinformation and lie to people about this. Now, I'm going to keep working on it and working on it and working on it until finally somebody decides to step up and say, hey, maybe we could be learning things the wrong way. There's a possibility. With everything that I'm uncovering, there is a big possibility that people are overlooking whole rocks from space. But that's all I have for this episode. But thanks for everybody that's believing. And I seem to not be getting so many negative comments anymore because I think more people are starting to see what I have. If I didn't have anything to back up what I'm saying, then none of what I'm saying would make any sense. But I'm telling you, it's really bizarre stuff. And we'll call it good at that.